I was going to show you that this kind of covers my lifespan here. You know, from an old phone to a new phone. And where do we want to go from here? This was the old hand crank, and party lines were little. Remember how many were on the party line, but of course when you crank this, it rings on everybody's line that's on the party line. So it'd be long and too short, or too long and one short, or whatever. And that would ring at everybody's house. And quite often, everybody would, or not everybody, but a few people would listen, and they would say, I'm wondering what they're calling the Olsons about. And of course, every time a person would pick up the receiver, the phone got a little bit quieter and a little quieter. And every once in a while, whoever was on the phone would say, get off, you rubbernecks, because I can hear. We call it stuff. And a lot of it's old stuff. And we live on a hobby farm. And we started a little collection of stuff. People like to come over and see it. And it's great to have people come over and see it, because if nobody's looking at it, it just sits there, you know. Well, we collected stuff that we remember as growing up years, you know, the 50s and the 60s stuff, cars and tractors and mobilia, signs and things like that. Well, I grew up on a farm, and I liked stuff that I could drive, and I liked mechanical stuff. And I used to help my dad do things, fix things, and I enjoyed that. Back here is my dad's H that he bought new in 1948 for $1,875. It has the original tires on it, and he was very particular that the tractor be inside whenever it was not in use. John Deere made the 830s either with a pony start or a 24-volt electric start. This one is a 24-volt electric start, and we'll see if it'll start. Well, we started collecting, I suppose, 35 years ago. And when we started, we really didn't have a plan to collect. Our first thing was we bought a '56 Ford, because that was my first new car. And it all kind of got started that way.
And it's exclusive with Ford in its field. But get the full story at your Ford dealers.
Most of the tractors in here are actually sets of tractors from particular years. Like over here, there's a set of John Deere 30 series, it's called. And it's the last series of John Deere's of the 2 cylinders. And there's one tractor in each size from the 330 on up to the 830, including the pedal tractor up there that goes with this set, the 130. And in the front here is homemade stuff that I have made over the years, starting when I was growing up on a farm. The oldest one here is this little John Deere tractor that I built when I was 14 years old. And I was 10 years old before we got electricity on the farm. So when we got electricity on the farm, then Dad put an electric motor on Mom's washing machine. And in that little John Deere tractor is the Briggs & Stratton motor that came off of Mom's washing machine. And I scavenged parts all over Dad's junkyard and built that tractor. Well, when we have people coming looking at the stuff in the way that they think it's kind of neat, because there's usually something that everybody likes. If they don't like tractors, they like cars. If they don't like that, they like a sign or whatever. And it usually brings back memories from their childhood. As far as preserving, I think it's nice because it keeps history alive. And usually as people get a little older, they enjoy history. When they're kids, they throw all history away, but when they get a little older, they go back to history. I would think or hope that they have a bigger appreciation for the past and how we got to where we are today. Because all of these were stepping stones to getting to where we're at now. And here we have what I call a 4950-94 car. It's actually a 94 Thunderbird that we put a 49 Ford front end on it and a 50 Ford back end. And we did that. The car was almost new. It had only 1,400 miles on it when we did this conversion. And in 1956, this was the only ambulance in Alexandria, Minnesota. Anderson Funeral Home bought this new in '56. The funeral home had the ambulance service, and later when they got out of the ambulance service, they donated this to the speedways, and then they used it until it became obsolete. And over here is a homemade tractor that my uncle built in 1941. That was during the war when it was hard for farmers to get tractors, and a lot of them couldn't afford tractors, so he built his own tractor. He used a 1925 Dodge car engine and transmission, and behind that he put a 5-speed truck transmission, and then the truck rear end. And this was his only farm tractor for 5 years. He did all the farming with that, plowing, disking, everything. I actually have my old Cushman scooter that I had growing up. I bought it back a few years ago from the guy that bought it from me. It was sitting in an old farmyard grove out here, and I got it back and restored it. But this is the one I had as a kid. It's a 1953 Cushman scooter. Well, I guess we grew up, in a fairly large family, both on my dad's side and on my mother's side. So I was kind of around this environment in the growing up years. And that's what made me have more appreciation for life and relationships and doing things like this. I look at our life and I really think of how God has blessed us, and it's been great. And through all that, we like to bless others.
Visit pioneer.org/postcards to catch up on missed episodes and to find out more about your favorite segments. Postcards is made possible by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund and the citizens of Minnesota. Additional support provided by Margaret A. Cargill Philanthropy, Mark and Margaret Yackel-Julien on behalf of Shalom Hill Farms, a retreat and conference center in a prairie setting near Windham, Minnesota. On the web at shalomhillfarm.org. Alexandria, Minnesota, a year-round destination with hundreds of lakes, trails, and attractions for memorable vacations and events. More information at explorealex.com. The Lake Region Arts Council's Arts Calendar, an arts and cultural heritage funded digital calendar showcasing upcoming art events and opportunities for artists in West Central Minnesota. on the web at lrac4calendar.org.